Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Wednesday, July 22nd, and how's everybody doing? Wow, I'm back after a long hiatus of damn, like 7.5 months. I just looked at YouTube. The last time I uploaded a video on YouTube was early December of 2025. So, yeah, it's like more than 7 months since I've done this, and it's cool. I've been actually trying out a new show format on this live stream, uh, doing something different from before. So before I was doing like stock analysis and live streaming based on catalysts, I think, and um yeah, and I was also trying out uh buying some stocks here and there, and that was dumb because I definitely lost some money there, and essentially proves the point that you can never outrun smart money, right? We individual investors, retail investors can never outrun the institutional investors because they do this for a living and they're insiders, those mofos. So, yeah, so it's kind of pointless. And essentially, the reason that I'm redoing or restarting the live stream is just because I thought it's this is what I do and this is what I love to do, is to um understand the biotech and pharmaceutical industry, and also at the same time just try to keep up with the latest that's going on. And yeah, so I'm back. Now I'm back on StreamYard and doing the streaming with you guys. So I know there's zero audience and there will be zero audience. So it doesn't really matter. All I'm trying to do is just to get myself familiar with what we're doing in the world of biotechs. And let's get it started. And I think this is gonna be, yeah, a nice journey. Of course I'll try to do this live stream every day if it's possible. But of course, there's gonna be days where I just don't feel like it, and yeah, then you don't have any live streaming. It's not like anybody's tuning into this anyway. So thank you for, yeah, thank you for watching this. And if you are somewhere like in a recording or watching a rerun on YouTube, then yeah, here we go. So essentially, the format that I've been trying on this yeah, on this kind of new format is just to review what's going on in the public market for biotech companies, to understand the news and its implications, and yeah, and just to try to make sense of it, and then try to look at these companies that's got funding, and to look at how they're putting that good money to work by hiring and developing their clinical pipelines, which is cool. And then at the end, just wanted to check out maybe the disease area that these companies are working on, and check out the real life patients and their the implications of these type of drug development work to the patients' lives and the impacts that's being made. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna do it, and we'll probably also rely on some AI, such as Gemini, that I have here. You see, I basically looked up, in preparation to the restart of this show, I looked up and did a bit of, I guess, trial and error on just trying out new things on how to use AI to understand the story behind the startups that's under the spotlight. Um, well, what used to be startups under the spotlight of today. So, yeah, well, we'll give it a try and see how it goes. So, all right, without further ado, here is today's news. So, the first one, by the way, Fierce Biotech, as well as this one right here, Biopharma Dive, are, I think, by far the best biotech news websites without a paywall. Um,
and they're definitely reliable sources, good medical journalism. And I also like to rely on this one, Mr. Seeking Alpha, and because it really puts a lot of the I guess capital raises and funding news into perspective of what we're looking at. So yeah, so these are the sources that I'm going to be reading from, and hope I don't bore you out of your fucking mind. Okay. All right. So the first one, Teal back CEO eyes 50 million fundraise after bagging China drug. Not very interesting because, as you all know, these in this day and age, everybody and their cousin is trying to license a China developed drug, and yeah, this is basically just a sidekick of Peter Thiel. Okay, maybe we can read into it, but that's what I'm guessing it is, a sidekick of Peter Thiel asking for 50 million bucks to in license a China drug so he can develop it and make a fortune, which is nothing new in this industry. So we'll see. When he turns around and sell this company to a pharma or a bigger biotech, then he'll hit his payday. And Peter Thiel, I don't know what he has anything to do with this. Good for him. He's already a multi-billionaire, already off somewhere in his Indonesian, Malaysian island, doing the things that he loves to do and he's probably not supposed to do. I don't know, or just sitting in his Silicon Valley billion-dollar home and yeah, enjoy the shit out of his life. Who knows? Uh, but let's see. Anything else that is interesting that is not sponsored articles? So NIH joined Trump's 5 billion AI mission with biomedical research. Nah, that's about public funding. It's important for researchers, but it's not important for the private biotech companies. House passes bill directing FDA to upgrade animal testing rules. Royalty pens $425 million deal for slice of AstraZeneca ATTR drug sales. I guess royalty is the name of the pharma, not the actual royalty that is being paid to AstraZeneca. And then additional news, biotech leader back FDA against malicious abortion lawsuit. Crystalis mines 130 million Series B to push gout drug through phase 3. This is interesting. Celldex. So the Crystalis one, let me just open it up. How do you do this on Chromebook? Open a new tab. And then Celldex and skin disease program. So this is actually, unfortunately, a failed program. So we're not going to look at that. Why Novartis CEO ended his ADC holdout for the Merck's deal. We're not going to look at that. Maybe we'll just take a look at the Peter Thiel back biotech startup right here. I don't know. Let's see. So the name of the biotech is Ashlands. They penned a deal worth up to $31 million with Hong Kong-based Lee's Pharmaceutical. Lee's? Lee's? Lee! Lee! What you doing, man? Yeah, man, I love that shit. You know where that reference from, right? That's Rush Hour with Jackie Chan and you got it, Chris Tucker. Man, such a good movie. Lee! Oh man, I love that. I miss those good old days. Those good old days of Hong Kong uh, action movies. Like not just Jackie Chan, but it was really it was really ahead of the rest of the world. But nowadays, there's really nothing special about those action films anymore. Those good old Jackie Chan days, in the, I guess in the mid '90s to early 2000s. Yeah, those movies. Did I just get sidetracked? Who cares? Yeah, like was it uh Rumble in the Bronx, right? Uh, what is it? Who Am I? Um, Rush Hour, obviously. Um, Project A. No, that's actually a Hong Kong. I think that's a Hong Kong production. The ones that I just mentioned are the movies that Jackie Chan made in Hollywood. Um, those were awesome movies. Together with those ones like Police Story, that was completely obviously Police Story, like Hong Kong police. Um, yeah, that was the good old days of that genre. Yeah, I really miss it. Damn. Okay, let's get back to this shit. So, interferon alpha 2B, an ingredient used in a variety of approved drugs for the infectious disease, not for a particular infectious disease. A Chinese formulation of a well-known medication, huh? Yeah, it's just interferon alpha 2B. On the company didn't offer any breakdown financials. Sold by Intron A as Intron A. Intron? Why not Exxon? By Merck and Co. for certain types of cancer and hepatitis until 2022. When the big pharma discontinued the medicine for commercial reasons, the decision left many patients with rare diseases uh, were prescribed the drug off-label. Ashland's founder and CEO Jennifer Lin told Fierce, "Our goal is to in-license the active ingredient, which we've done, and develop it for formal FDA approval for these rare disease patients," Lin said. Ashland's? Is that related to her name? Ash? Lin's? Huh, maybe. Then in that case, that's quite a narcissistic CEO, putting her own name as the wait, but her name is not Ashley. If her name is Ashley Lynn, then Ashland's would have totally made sense. But her name's Jennifer Lynn. So yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's just I don't know what this word means. If I'm right, which I usually am, Ashlyn is actually an Irish name. Scottish or Irish? I'm not sure. If you're watching this and you're Scottish or Irish, please correct me. But I'm too lazy to Google slash like AI it. But I think that's an actual name of a girl, Ashlyns. Not with the S. Anyway, another candidate being developed in house by the company's core team of 5 employees. While Lynn again would. So where is Peter Thiel in all of this? Jesus, her focus with Ash. So Lin founded Ashlands last year after departing AUG Therapeutics, licensed a trio of rare disease drug candidates from Avalo Therapeutics in 2023, the most advanced of which is now in phase 3 testing for leukocyte adhesion deficiency type 2, while AUG uh, or with AUG in a stable place, Lynn decided to move on to a new venture where she could spend the next 10 or 20 years of her career. Oh, that's good. Her focus with Ashlands, she explained, oh, pardon me, is to broaden access to drugs that are already known to work. Okay? There's a lot of therapies. Here it is, Teal Fellowship. Uh, they have raised just 1.7 million so far, primarily from Silicon Valley, from Mythos Ventures. Lynn's also a recipient of a Teal Fellowship, a 2-year, 250,000 program backed by billionaire Peter Thiel. Let's see, what is this? With the licensing deal in the books, meeting with the FDA, Lynn's now looking to raise around 50 million for Ashlands in October. That should be enough cash to bring Lynn's first program through the FDA approval to FDA, and also only 50 million is enough to bring the program through FDA approval. That's crazy. That's dirt cheap. Well, uh, through the Teal network, then through some of my existing life science contacts, I think we have a unique way to access. Well, good for you. You have your ways. Uh-huh. So you know all the people. You know all the right people, huh? Good for you. That's not bragging at all. We have access to capital. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh so they're okay, so they're seeking. They haven't bagged the 50 million yet. They're seeking. They eye the 50 million. Okay. What is the Teal Fellowship? Teal Fellowship, 2 years, 250,000. Some ideas can't wait. Funded by technology entrepreneur, an investor. No, no, no. Skip or stop out of college and receive a $250,000 grant to support the Teal. Wait, hold on. I thought my grandmother wanted me to have an education. She kept me out of school. Nice. Very smart. Kane, the major that she made. Kane. What? Wait. I thought. Is that Kanye? Did I just say Kane? Like Keynesian economist? Uh, so actually, this is Kanye. Are we thinking about Kanye, the same Kanye? Bigger, faster, better, stronger. Seriously? Da 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 da. That's not the Kanye song, but like that's crazy, right? Kanye. Why is Kanye affiliated with the Peter Thiel Fellowship? What's going on? Are they friends? Kanye and Peter Thiel? Okay. Margaret Mead. Let's see. I'm just curious now. We all love gossip shit. Peter Thiel and Kanye. Kanye West. There we go. A few notable points of intersection. 2018 VC ambitions. Fellowship. The tweet about VC fund. Yeah, that's where the connection came from. The recipient of the Thiel Fellowship. Noted for his work. What's Kanye West Easy? Easy was awarded in July 2019. Idris Sandu. I doubt this is like a biotech thing. Spatial labs from Ghana in the tech industry. Okay, so it's about tech, about big money. We're not interested in any of that. Margaret Mead. Margaret. Is that how you spell it? Mead. Here we go. What's she known for? Appear frequently in mass media during the mid 20th century. Coming of age in Samoa. Here we go. What was she famous for? Her groundbreaking book, Coming of Age in Samoa. Adolescence, sexuality, gender roles, and cultural. Well, looking at her picture, I dare to say that she is not the best spokesperson for adolescence and sexuality, but who knows? Who am I to judge, you know? Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a photo when she was old, but that's a photo when she was younger, and yeah, I think that explains a lot. Mm. Anyway, let me stop being a smartass and just take a look at the news of the day. Crystallis, they mines 130 million Series B to push out gout drug through phase 3. Awesome. They raised 130 million. Fraser Life Sciences. What's up, Fraser? Good night, Seattle. I think most of you know where that reference came from, right? Mm-hmm. Dr. Fraser Kane, a famous TV show in the 90s and early 2000s. Uh, okay. All right. This is one story that we can follow. Here's another. Um, well, actually, this is old news. They're just saying that when Vertex acquired Crinetics back a couple of months ago, or like a month ago or so, now it's shown finally that they're the sole bidder, yet they still paid a high premium for it. So, uh, what now, dummy? I don't know. Like, what's the point of this story? Crinetics is a good story though. The founding of Crinetics. You go ahead and Google it, but it's interesting. It's like 2 decade long of biotech company building, and they were rewarded by a high premium takeout. And Vertex is the dumb one. So, according to this article, um, so GSK lung cancer drug gets speedy approval following $10.6 billion deal. I think this is interesting. Arrowhead, his best case scenario with late results of fat lowering drug. Not interesting. Novartis sues Lilly. Yeah, this is nice drama. You know, a bitch fight between Novo and Lilly, the duopoly of GLP-1s, right? We love these kind of drama. So, um, yeah, let it play out, and we don't really want to look too much into that. And then there's this whole news roundup thing. Well, here's another one for Cristallis. So it was being featured. This news was featured on both Biopharma Dive and Fierce Biotech. So this must be a good story. And then I'll just take a look at the news roundup to finish the day. Let's see. All right. Okay, the news roundup. Summit. Yeah, okay. And Akeso's dual-acting ivonescimab indicated. Da-da-da. What are they saying? China only study. Were similar as well. Showed a positive trend on survival. Mm. Oh no, this was 2015. May have increased with time. Its effect on overall survival, I guess, only associated with positive trend. It was initially a 21% reduction death risk. Yeah, I think Summit is still trying to prove a point here. Or maybe beating a dead horse. So I yeah, I don't know how this would play out. I don't have a crystal ball, but the reduction in death, meaning the hazard ratio, is falling by 3%. I don't know how meaningful that is, but if Summit said so, then there must be so. A closely watched autoimmune drug from Celldex failed mid-stage. Yeah, unfortunately. Uh, Gilead and Merck. Mm-hmm. India-based Lupin is spinning 2 cancer drugs into a new biotech. Kaveri. Oh damn, I sound Korean, right? Kaveri. The The is the v. Cavalry. Uh, Jupiter Neuroscience grabbed partial rights on experimental psychedelics from Toronto-based farm farm a I Allah is it Allah or Allah la 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 Biotech. So I don't know what that is. Whether that's an AI or oh, it's ALA. Okay, so deal. Okay, ALA like Alabama, sweet home Alabama. Okay, I misunderstood. My bad. It's a version of MD. This right here, MDMA. For those of you that don't do drugs, this is also known on the street as ecstasy. So MDMA. So basically, Jupiter Neuroscience is an ecstasy company. Okay, that's awesome. That's good to know. They're paying 3.3 million in cash up front for the US rights of this of a version of MDMA specially formulated to lower the risk of abuse or cardiovascular problems. So it's a safer version of ecstasy. Awesome. Good to know. Yeah, it's not very interesting. In the news roundup, GSK cancer drug got their approval. What is the name of the drug? G-Datro. G-Datro. Okay. That sounds very exotic. G as in jizz. Day as in day. I don't know. Day and tro. Okay. Um, it's formerly called Zidasep- Zidesamtinib. Zidesamtinib. In man, these tongue twister drug names. These in people whose metastatic non-small cell lung cancer has alterations in the ROS1 gene who previously received another therapy. Okay, so it's a ROS1 inhibitor. Oh, it's from Nuvalent. Yeah, this is also an interesting company. I also did something right here, just like I did for Crinetics. Yeah, we won't revisit, but it's interesting because they're in direct head-to-head competition with Nuvation, and Nuvalent was acquired by GSK. So awesome. GSK didn't pay the 10.6 billion for nothing because they got the approval. Good for them. I guess by the time they paid for the drug or for the company, they already have known that they're gonna bag the approval. So, well, GSK, part of a broader effort, best known for its HIV medicines, respiratory disease drugs, and vaccines, they're growing an oncology business. Cool. So GSK really likes to name their drugs with J, like Jemperli, Zejula, and the multiple myeloma Blenrep. I guess they didn't name the drug themselves, so that's why it doesn't have a J in it. With Gideltro, meanwhile, they aim to make inroads in an area with plenty of competition in ROS1. Okay, cool. Interesting. And what about this one? What about Vertex and the Crinetics acquisition? The two drugs at 102% premium, $85 per share offer is one of the biggest markups this year, according to Biopharma Dive data. When Vertex shared deals, no shit, you overpaid for that stuff. After deal's announcement, analysts suspected investors weren't happy with the price tag. The deal value assumes bullish case outcome for Crinetics drugs and will likely stir debates about whether they pay full price or even a rich price. Stifel analyst Paul Mateus wrote. Okay. Thanks, Paul, for your comment. A couple of months passed before Vertex on March 14th reached out to Crinetics CEO R. Scott Struthers about a potential transaction. By March 14th, Vertex submitted a proposal reflecting 125% premium. They quickly tapped Leerink and JP Morgan to serve as financial advisors. They spent the next 10 days further beefing up the deal, right? The directors acknowledged a sizable premium, but believed that since there was an initial offer, they could go higher, and they did. On April 19th, they revised. Yeah. Oh, these suckers. Uh, represents a 102% premium offer. They revised this offer to 83 per share. 102% premium. 78 apiece and 125% premium. Still didn't pass muster. Their board members knocked down the new proposal 3 days later. They came up with a list of 6 other companies that might be interested in. In the final week, oh, sneaky bastards. So while they're entertaining Vertex with the offer, they're actually reaching out to additional potential acquirers. 3 of those 6 counterparts conveyed they didn't want to make a deal. Another party A did express interest. By May 1st, however, it was determined that it couldn't propose a transaction worth north of $6 billion. Party A dropped. That's an interesting negotiation story. Vertex up its offer. The critics board quickly concluded that because this new offer would be diluted to Vertex's earning per share near term, it's likely or near the maximum Vertex are will be willing to pay. They wanted to these greedy bastards. They wanted to see if it could go even higher. So they relayed a counter proposal. Due diligence was required before they put forward with an offer. They were prepared to buy Vertex for 85. They tried to eke out one more dollar per share. 85, 80, 86. That's like the transaction of selling a house, man. Oh, these, yeah, these kids, they're only too funny. You know, like a universal rule is the richer you get, the more stingy you actually become. That's a universal rule. Uh, yeah, I know with the World Cup just concluding, there was a story by Landon Donovan, who is a prominent U.S. soccer legend, and he was one of the commentaries for the World Cup. Anyways, I think we all know who Landon Donovan is. When he was playing for the LA Galaxy, uh, uh, I think this was in the late 2000s. David Beckham joined the team. He came to the MLS, and he commands, I think, at that time, maybe let's say like I don't know the exact figures. So if an average MLS player was making, let's say, 100,000, which is nothing, right? Okay, let's up it a little bit. $200,000 a year, then David Beckham was making uh like 20 million or something like that. Maybe not as much. Okay, maybe not 100 times more, but sorry, maybe not a thousand times more, but at least uh you know like around, wait, did I just do that math wrong? 200,000 versus 20 million. So that's 100 times. Yeah. So he was probably making 100 times what an average MLS player was making. And um, Donovan was telling a story when they were going out to a team dinner. This was, of course, like just the guys hanging out with each other. Um, at the end of the meal, everybody looked at Dave, which is David Beckham, to pick up the tab because that's what Landon Donovan used to do as the team captain of the LA Galaxy. Um, and Beckham, he took the bill. David being David, he's like, so that evens out to $100 a person. I don't know how David speaks. So that evens out to, oh, that's he's not from the South. Um, I don't know how David talks, but yeah, essentially he's like, yeah, we'll just split the bill. and everybody was like, "Is he fucking serious?" So that's where like time and time again, the more it may reflect on the type of person that David was, but I think it more just points to a universal rule that the more the more money you have, the more stingy that you will become. Because I guess the way for you to become that level of rich is for you to is because you've been stingy and you will always be that way. So I don't know what's the moral of the story, but this story just really reminds me of that. Anyway, okay, so we good on this Crinetics story. Okay, does not reflect any acute reduction in confidence. Sure, it doesn't. Sure, you didn't overpay. Okay. Now, finally, let's take a look at Crystalis. It's gout drug. So this is an inflammatory condition, right? One of the fastest financing that I've ever participated in. James McKay, PhD, told Fears last year we raised 205 million in Series A. That made a lot of investors who didn't participate in that sit up and take notice. Well, dotinurad is a once daily oral inhibitor of URAT1, is that how you say it? Designed to help the kidney excrete uric acid. Um, prepare for their potential commercialization, huh? Or support two ongoing registration directed phase 3 trials. Amethyst study. That's a beautifully named study. Describe dotinurad as extremely de-risk molecule because it's already been approved in several Asian markets. Again, they acquire the rights from Eureka Therapeutics in exchange. Okay. I thought these were innovative entities, molecular entities, but they're not. And half of the patients treated was formed and co-founded by McKay, Noble Holdings, and other members of his leadership team. McKay previously led Aristia that shut down, so he ran into the ground. Well, it's not his fault that the drug didn't work, I guess, after safety concerns emerged in clinical trial of his lead inflammatory disease drug. Before that, he led Ardea Biosciences and developed Zorampic. Not Ozempic, but Zorampic, the first URAT inhibitor approved in the US. Now, we consider companies' long-term financing options reasonably buoyant at the moment. Mr. Crystalis could pursue an IPO. Well, good for him and his company. I'm still curious, how did they acquire the rights? Is this a Chinese company? Okay, this is exactly where AI will come in handy. Fortress. Why Fortress? I thought the name is Crystalis. Ta-da. Okay. How did... Let's ask AI. How did Crystalis Therapeutics... How was... Let's ask this question. The prompt is, what is the story behind the founding of Crystalis Therapeutics and its lead pipeline candidate for gout? Okay, let's see. In the meantime, let's just take a quick look and flip through the news update, the funding news updates of the day. Dyne Therapeutics, I looked that up yesterday. It's an interesting story. You should Google it. Dine has a very interesting founding history. So they dropped after upsized public offering. Summit, they update survival data, and we just read that. Tiziana Life Sciences chairman increases ownership of Ionis, drops as Arrowhead post late. So I guess these two are head to head for lipid lowering drug. BridgeBio granted FDA review for hypoparathyroidism drug therapy. Uh, that's good news for BridgeBio. Key FDA drugs advisory committee to be reconstituted. Liquidia jumps as judge criticizes United Therapeutics in patent dispute. Arrowhead hits 56-week high as late stage trial win marks de-risking event. Let's see what Arrowheads does. Oh, this is a big deal. They accepted Revolution Medicines NDA for daraxonrasib. This is the groundbreaking drug this year that was presented at ASCO. I did another trial episode on that as well. So we can cover that later in a future episode of this live stream, okay? Arcus in supply deal with Avio Oncology for castatafan combo in kidney cancer. Now, this is the only thing that I am interested in. Arrowhead, lipid lowering agent, Cantor Fitzgerald identified as a meaningful de-risking event. siRNA treatment, so severe hypertriglyceridemia, causing up to 81% of median triglyceride reduction. Okay. What is what is this indication though? Supplemental drug application, TG lowering efficacy, Ionis first mover advantage. Added that the Shasta 3 and Shasta 4 results appeared in competitive with Ionis. So these are almost head-to-head competitors. 81% should take a serious look, he said, adding the okay. Thanks for being a very fair spokesperson of Arrowhead. Larry Hall. Aren't you so you're a Seeking Alpha employee, but why are you speaking on behalf of Arrowhead? I don't get it. Isn't so is he an independent contributor? Interesting. Uh like a correspondent, but he's not employed. He's an analyst at Seeking Alpha. So he should be impartial. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Anyway, let's take a look at this. The founding story of Crystalis. The unmet need in gout. For decades, The team and inception. San Diego-based Crystalis was formed in 2022, co-founded by Dr. James McKay with venture partners Catalyst Pacific and Nova Holdings. They brought specialized experience. Yeah, I don't need to read his resume. Acquiring the asset on launch. They acquired the global ex-Asia rights for his lead drug for Eureka Therapeutics, a subsidiary of Fortress Biotech. Then they emerged from stealth. Crystalis offered a single asset. Their once daily oral URAT1 inhibitor. Clinical because it's extensive efficacy overseas. Man, this is just the low-hanging fruit and the easy way out. It's not very interesting. But how did Fortress Biotech develop? How did Fortress Biotech develop its URAT1 inhibitor? Rather than developing molecules from scratch, they utilize hub and spoke business model. Fuji Yakuhin. So the Tinorat was originally discovered, tested, and commercialized in Japan by Fuji Yakuhin. So then why didn't Fuji Yakuhin commercialize this drug in the United States? In May 21, they acquired exclusive rights to develop and commercialize it in North America. There must be a reason where that this Japanese company didn't explore its possibilities for commercialization. Had already generated a robust Japanese clinical dossier, executing a targeted bridging strategy in the US. Man, this was only too easy. I could have done this if I knew that this drug was up for grabs. This drug's ex-Japan rights. Or ex-Asia rights, right? Yeah, ex-Asia rights. Not very interesting, honestly. Anyway. Well, still, it's good news that the Western patients of gout can soon access this drug. So let's take a look at Crystalis. The one thing that is interesting is how is Crystalis going to use this this recent proceeds of $130 million in Series B? Let's take a look. Crystalis Therapeutics. San Diego based? Let's see. What kind of about us? Do they have a careers page? Let's see. No, they don't. So they're putting that money in his pocket or in their own pocket, and they're not hiring, huh? Okay, good for them. Well, let's take a look at want to do TikTok? Yeah, let's do Instagram. Gout disease. The unmet medical need. Reading it is one thing, but seeing it is another. Unmet need in gout. Stark divide. First line oral therapeutics. Let's see. Let's turn down the volume. And let's do reels. Or just search. Gout. Treatment. Gout treatment with ginger tea. FDA. How about that? Patients with gout. Is this Woody Harrelson? No, it's not. Seriously? This guy has gout. Or this is a doctor. No, if it's a doctor. Well, this young lady has gout. It's always better to be watching videos.
Diet. You were told it was from alcohol, red meat, seafood, so you spent years cutting everything out of your diet, but you're still in pain. Here's the part you weren't told. The leading cause of gout worldwide is metabolic disease, not food. This means even if you're on a low purine diet, your kidneys are struggling to keep up. Metabolic syndrome means you have high insulin, also called insulin resistance, which actually blocks your kidneys from being able to flush out uric acid. It lingers and crystallizes in your joints. Your immune system attacks
scientific
them, causing massive
explanation
inflammation,
of
heat,
the MOA
swelling,
of the
and pain.
disease.
If you ignore this, those crystals can turn into permanent tofu, which
Oh,
can
that's why the
deform your
company's
joints
called
for life.
Crystalis.
Here's what to do. Implement a
now I
daily
get
fasting
it.
window and post-meal
put one and
movement.
one
Both
together,
lower
you
insulin
get
and make
10.
it significantly easier for your kidneys to excrete uric acid
Crystalis.
naturally.
Uric
Without enough water, you're
acid
just concentrating the uric
crystals.
acid in your blood. Add lemon to your water to further help your body break down and flush out the uric acid. Leafy greens
so
to support
lemon
kidney
plus
function
water
and detox. Fiber to help gut bacteria
can
break down
already
uric
help
acid
with gout.
faster. Sugar and
But you
processed
really
food are the
don't
fastest.
need this $130 million in Series B for this drug called, what is it? Right here. Dotinurad? Is that how you say it? I wonder if lemon and water can just already inhibit the urate transporter 1 or urat 1. Anyways.
Just ways to spike your insulin and uric acid levels. Replace those with whole unprocessed foods. If
These
solutions like these
types of
haven't
real
worked for you, you can
scientific
also use natural
breakdown
tools that
of the
target
disease
insulin,
is
inflammation,
more
and uric
helpful than
acid.
some
If
of
you
the
want to see
other
the tools that my followers use for this,
pseudoscience that's
comment
on
tools
TikTok
and I'll
or
DM you.
Instagram.
You were told your gout.
Cool. Thank you, hon. Thank you for the education. And I think, yeah, that will probably conclude today's live streaming. It's really good to be back. Happy, super happy. And I'll continue to do this live stream format and hope to see you around sometime, okay? Adios. Signing off.